sure there's nothing leaning underneath of it. No drips, no oil puddles, nothing hanging as far as cables or belts. The vehicle not leaning from one side to another. Could indicate a low tire, shifted load, broken suspension. Then you walk up. First thing is your license plate. Check it, make sure it's properly secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's clean and up to date. Then you come to your bumper. Properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly secured. You come up to your grill. Properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, free of debris. The hood, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. You go up to the windshield. Properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. No cracks. If there was a crack, it's on the passenger side, no more than 1 inch. The windshield wipers are not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured, pressed up against the windshield. Then you go up to your sun visor, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Your clearance lights are properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean, amber in color. You go up to the dome, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The window up there is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured. The rubber is soft and pliable. Then you come down to your hood mirrors. The hood mirror is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and clean. Come to the light assembly. Properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and clean. All lights are present. The rubber seal going around is soft and pliable. Start on this side of the motor. You go from your top right, you go across and down. You start with your coolant reservoir, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. It's between minimum and maximum. The cap is properly secured with the lanyard intact. Then you come to your upper coolant hose, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage or bulges. Your wiring harness, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no cut, frayed, bare, taped, or sign of corrosion. Your air filter assembly, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Stick your hand inside, free of debris, and the filter is present. Then you come to your air filter indicator, which tells you if the air filter is clean or if it needs to be replaced. It's reading in the yellow, so that means it's good. If it was reading in the red, it would need to be replaced. Directly below that, you come to your turbo and your turbo hose. The turbo is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. Turbo hose, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage. The rubber gaskets are soft and pliable. From there, you go to your AC compressor, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present. It's belt driven. The belt should have a minimum of a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch play, and the belts are not frayed or glazed. Come down to your alternator, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present. It's also belt driven. Should have a minimum of a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch play, and the belt is not frayed or glazed. Come down to your water pump. The water pump is not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly secured, all bolts are present, no sign of leakage. Belt driven, should have a minimum of a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch play, and the belt is not frayed or glazed. Then you come over to your fan shroud. Fan shroud is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Properly secured. The belt fan blades that you can see are properly secured. None are cracked, bent, or broken, or missing. Last thing on this side is a frame. Properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. No signs of illegal welds or man-made holes. Alright, we start on the top left. Coolant overflow reservoir, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. Caps attached. Upper coolant hose, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage or bulges. Come down to your turbo inline, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The rubber gaskets are soft and pliable, no sign of leakage. Fan shroud again on this side, make sure it's properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Fan blades on this side are all present, not cracked, bent, or broken. Come to your power steering fluid reservoir, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage. If you was to fill it, you would remove this cap to add fluid. If you need to check your fluid level, it's on the smaller cap. You come to your oil filler cap, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, secured by a lanyard so the cap does not get lost. From there you come down to your air compressor and line, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's gear driven, no sign of leakage. Down to your power steering pump, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage, and it is gear driven. Then you come to your oil dipstick, pull it out, check your oil level. It should be between minimum and full. If it was below minimum, you would add a gallon of 1540. Come down to your fuel filter, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. If you cannot remember the fuel filter name by name, read it, it's written on there. Come up to your fuse box, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All fuses are present. There you come to your treadle valve, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. Beside that, you come to your clutch fluid reservoir, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. It says brake fluid on it because that's the thickness of fluid that you add to it. So generally it's like you can put brake fluid in there, and that's the reason it says brake fluid on there. Then you come to your air governor. Air governor is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. Steering shaft boot, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The rubber is soft and pliable. Steering shaft, not cracked, bent, or broken, or excessive play. Steering shaft is connected to the steering gearbox by a U-joint, and the U-joint is properly secured and well greased. Down to the steering gearbox, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present, no sign of leakage. Then you come down to the pitman arm. Pitman arm is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. It is secured to the drag link by a castle nut and cotter key. These parts are well greased. Drag link, not cracked, bent, or broken, secured to the steering arm and steering knuckle, again by castle nut and cotter key, and well greased. You come back to the back side, which is a tie-in rod, runs from one side to the other, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, well greased. That covers everything concerning steering. Then you come to your suspension. Spring hanger mount, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, well greased. Come to your springs. This truck is equipped with 2, but if you had 4, 1/4% could be cracked. And since this one only has 2, you cannot have any cracked. From there you go to the U-bolt and saddle, which secure the springs to the frame, not cracked, bent, or broken, and well secured. Then you come to your shock, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. That covers your steering and your suspension. Now you come to your brakes. Your brake air line, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. Coming to your brake chamber. Your brake chamber is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or dented. There is a diaphragm inside the brake chamber. Air goes through the brake chamber and pushes the diaphragm, which pushes the push rod. The push rod is not cracked, bent, or broken. Push rod and clevis is attached to the slack adjuster by pin and cotter key. The slack adjuster, when the brakes are released, should have no more than 1-inch play. The slack adjuster turns the S-cam shaft, which turns the S-cam, which moves on rollers, and at the highest point pushes brake pads against the brake drums, which causes friction. When the brakes are released, the return spring returns the brakes to its normal position. Then you check your brake drums for free of debris, leaks. If there was a leak, it would be a sign of an inner seal leak. And the brake material should be a minimum of 1/4% material. Then you come to your tires. You check the inside of your tires for ABCs, abrasion, bulges, or cuts. Come and check the top for uneven wear. Virgin tires, there must be matching tires on both sides, cannot be recapped. The minimum tread depth is 4/32. If you cannot remember the 4/32, you can count across. 1, 2, 3, 4. The air pressure is 110 or tire specification. On the outside, you check again for abrasion, bulges, and cuts. The bead going around the rim is sealed. It has a metal valve stem with a metal cap. The only way you could check the air pressure in these tires was with an air pressure gauge. Then you come to your rim. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal welds or holes. Then you check your lug nuts. All lug nuts are present. No sign of any missing. If there was any looseness, it'd be a sign of a rust color going away from the lug nuts. Your front hub seal. You have a looking glass that tells you the fluid level that's inside the front hub seal. If you could not see any fluid, you would stick your finger inside and you should feel it up to your first knuckle. Alright, then we come to the exterior of the door. You check the exterior of the door for, make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken, or holes. The window, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, it's clean. Rubber seal going around is soft and pliable. Your hood mirror is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The door mirror. And it's clean. Then you check your door latch, make sure it works. Door opens and closes correctly. Open the door up. First thing you check is your fuses inside your door. Make sure you have extra fuses. Everything is attached on the door. It's not hanging loose. Door hinges. Door hinges are present, properly secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, lightly greased. The grab handles, make sure they're properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. They're important to maintain 3 points of contact. Then you check your brake pedals. You're going to check these twice. This is the first time you check them. You just make sure they're free of debris. Then you check your fire extinguisher. 10 BC, properly secured, fully charged, has a pin with a seal to prevent accidental discharge inside the cab. Grab your seat belt. First time you're going to check it, you're going to check it twice. Then it's present, serviceable, not cut or frayed. Last thing you check is the rubber seal going around the inside of the door. It's soft and pliable and present. Then you check your steps. Make sure they're present, not cracked, bent, or broken, free of oil and debris. Alright, before we check the battery compartment, before you let go of this, there is a safety strap in here. And make sure that the safety strap is attached before you let this shroud go. Alright, it's attached. It's sturdy. Inside you have 4 batteries. They're called low maintenance batteries because you do not have to check fluid level or add fluid. You would check your batteries to make sure they're properly secured to the frame. Your cables, make sure that they are tight, not loose, no cut, frayed, bare, wires or sign of corrosion. You have 3 tanks, primary, secondary, and a drain tank. You pull on this and you drain your air tanks after every work day. Then you come over to your depth fluid tank. Make sure it's properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. Check the cap. Make sure linear it's attached and the rubber seal is soft and pliable on the inside. Same Then you come on the side of the vehicle, you're checking your overall exterior to make sure that there's no damage, anything that would impair this vehicle from operating. Check your fairing handle, grab handle. Again, it's important because it helps you maintain 3 points of contact getting on and off the vehicle. First thing you check then is your steps, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, free of debris and oil. Fuel tank, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage. It's secured by 3 straps with a rubber bracking, which to prevent friction. It takes a minimum of 2 straps, but this truck has 3. Then you check your your fuel cap, secure with a safety chain and a rubber seal inside, rubber gasket. Then you check your 3 lines, your fuel sending unit, your heating line, and your fuel return line are properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage or sign of corrosion. Then you check your emergency and service line and your electrical cable, properly secured to the truck, not loose, no sign of leakage. Pull it out, make sure there's 7 pins inside, lightly greased. From there, we go to the top. Make sure your marker reflectors are present and serviceable, not cracked, bent, or broken. Come down to your grab handles. Both of them are present, serviceable, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured. Your spring holding your cables up is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Your utility and cab work light are present, not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured, clean. Can be red or white in color. Come down to your cab suspension. You have an airbag on each side along with the shock, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. The airbag is not deflated. It's controlled by a leveling valve. It is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. That's the airline, the green airline. No sign of leakage. The cab's not leaning from one side to another. From there we come to the catwalk. Catwalk is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, free of debris and oil. Then you come down to your drive shaft and U-joint, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and the U-joint is properly greased. Then you come back to your frame. Your frame is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of illegal welds or holes. You come to your splash guard, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, well secured. Then we come back to the tires and rims, work our way in. The rims properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of illegal welds or holes. All your lug nuts are present, none are loose. Then your hub seal, hub axle seal, is properly secured, all bolts are present, no sign of leakage. Then you check your tires, no abrasion, bulges, or cuts on the outside. The bead as well is good going around the rim. You check your tread. It must be even tread going across on both sides of the axle. Must be a minimum of 2/32, no uneven wear. Then you go on the inside, check, make sure it's free of debris. Must be a minimum of 3 inches in between the duals, no daylight between the rim. You check the inside of the tire again for abrasions, bulges, or cuts. These can be recapped, 95 psi. It can be checked with a tire thumper or air pressure gauge. From there you check your suspension, your spring hanger mount, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then you check your springs. Again, you have 2. If you had 4, you could have a 1/4% crack, but since you only have 2, you cannot have any crack. From there you check your U-bolt saddle, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then these also have shocks and airbags. You have a total of 4 each. You have 2 on each side. The airbag is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, nor deflated, no cuts, no tears. The shock is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage. Now we go to the brakes. Check your brake airline. properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. You check your brake chamber. Properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or dented. Air goes through the brake chamber. There's a diaphragm inside the brake chamber. Air pushes the diaphragm, which pushes the push rod, which is attached to the slack adjuster. The push rod and clevis is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's attached to the slack adjuster by a pin and cotter key. The slack adjuster, when the brakes are released, should have no more than 1 inch of play. Slack adjuster turns the S-cam shaft, which turns the S-cam, which moves on rollers. And at the highest point, it pushes brake pads against the brake drum, which causes friction. When the brakes are released, the return spring returns the brakes to its normal position. Then you check your brake drum, again for illegal welds or debris. No sign of leakage. If there was a leak, it could be a sign of an inner seal leak. And the brake material is a minimum of 1/4 inch material. From there, we come to the fifth wheel. Check your apron and the fifth wheel. Yeah, should be no daylight. The fifth wheel is lightly greased. The fifth wheel is secured to the pivot mount by pin and cotter key. The pivot mount is secured to the slide rail frame by locking pins. Locking pins are in the extended position. The slide rail frame is secured to the frame and saddle by welds, and the welds are good. It's secured to the saddle by vertical and horizontal bolts. All bolts are present. The air cylinder, which controls the locking pins, is in its retracted position, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or sign of leakage. The air line is properly secured to the air cylinder. No cracks, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of leakage. Come underneath. You check the kingpin shaft, make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken. The locking bar is behind the kingpin shaft, securing the trailer to the tractor. And it's not cracked, bent, or broken. While you're underneath here, you check your lights. Red in color, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and working. Backup light is white in color, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's clean. Your mud flaps with reflectors are properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Now that covers everything with the tractors. Now we're going to go to the trailer. Check your inspection stickers at the present, up to date. From there, this is where your registration would be, but since it's broken, it's over there in the bill box. You check your header board, make sure there's no holes, no damage, all the rivets are present. Your clearance lights up on top are present, not cracked, bent, or broken, and clean, amber in color. Then you check your glad hands. You check in the grommet inside to make sure it's present. This prevents leakage and is soft and pliable. You would do these on both the red and the blue. You would also check your electrical cable again, and you have 7 pins inside, lightly greased, all the pins are present. These are Class A parts that cannot be repaired, they must be replaced. Then you can continue down the side of the trailer. On the top, you're checking the exterior of the trailer for damage. Your reflecting tape is present. Before you get to the landing gear, you look underneath. Check your cross members. These are support the floor of the trailer. Cannot be cracked, bent, or broken. If any of them were cracked, bent, or broken, the trailer would be unserviceable. Your 3 lines run through your cross members from the front of the trailer all the way to the back. You have your emergency line, service line, and your electrical cable. They're all present. There's a rubber seal that's in between each cross member that these lines run through. Then you check your lip point. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, it's present, serviceable. Check your landing gear. Make sure it's present, serviceable, not cracked, bent, or broken. All bolts are present. There are no debris on your landing pads. You continue down the side of your trailer, checking your reflective tape, the exterior of the trailer to make sure it's serviceable. You also stop again and check your cross members. Visually look at your cross members to make sure that they're present, none are cracked, bent, or broken. Check your turn signal indicator is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and is clean. You move on down. Again, looking at the overall exterior of your trailer. When you stop, check the cross members again, and your air lines and cables, make sure that they're good. The cables that you have hanging here are properly secured by springs, and secured to the trailer cannot be no lower than 18 inches from the ground. While you're here, you check your air tank, where your lines go to your air tank. Your air tank is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or dented. No sign of leakage. All the cables are connected. And then while you're here, this is your slide rail for your trailer to slide your tandems forwards and backwards. This is a release handle which releases these pins. You have two on each side, one in front, one in the back. Make sure they're extended in its locked position so the trailer cannot slide. And the retraction handle is in its locked position. Then you come, checking your trailer some more. You have another lift point. Make sure the lift point is not cracked, bent, or broken, is present. Then you come down to your last axle of your trailer. You check your rims, not cracked, bent, or broken, no sign of illegal welds or holes. All your lug nuts are present, and that they're not loose. If there was a sign of a looseness, it would be rust in color. Check your tires, just like your drives, and your steer tires for abrasion, bulges, and cuts. The bead going around the rim is good. These can be recapped, but it also must be even tread on both sides, even wear, minimum of 2/32. Air pressure 95, and you can check them with a tire thumper or air pressure gauge. You check the inside of the tire for abrasion, bulges, and cuts as well, free of debris, and there's no daylight between the rims, and it must be 3 inches between each rim, each tire. From there, you come underneath, and you're checking your suspension again. You have 3 leaf springs on this trailer, so you still cannot have any cracked. You must have 4 to have a 1/4% crack. These have 3, so you still cannot have any crack. And then you have your U-bolt and saddle properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then you come to your brakes. You have your air line again coming to your brake chamber. Brake chamber is not cracked, bent, or broken, or dented, properly secured. There's a diaphragm inside the brake chamber. The air goes through the brake chamber, pushes the diaphragm, which pushes the push rod. Push rod and clevis is attached to the slack adjuster by a pin and cotter key. The slack adjuster, when the brakes are released, should have no more than 1 inch of play. The slack adjuster turns the S-cam shaft, which turns the S-cam, which moves on rollers, and at the highest point pushes the brake pads against the brake drum, which causes friction. When the brakes are released, the return spring returns the brakes to its normal position. Check the brake drum to make sure it's free of debris and no illegal welds or holes, and there's no leakage. If there was a sign of a leakage, it could be an interseal leak. Brake pad material should be a minimum of a 1/4%. All right. Then we come out, check your mud flap, make sure it's properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then you check this loop here. So when you open up your door, you have a chain. The chain loop goes in there and secures the door while it's open. Then you check your ABS light, make sure it's properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's clean. Again, the rest of your trailer to make sure it's free of debris, no damage. Then you come to the back of the trailer. You check the overall exterior of the door. There's no holes, no damage, or anything that would keep this door from working properly. It has hinges. All the hinges are present, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. And this portion could be a bolt or a pin, a seal going around the door. It's soft and pliable and serviceable. And on the inside, the door support rods are properly secured to the latches and to the door. Secured. Then you check your lights. Normally your clearance lights are up on top, but they must be red in color, but on this particular trailer they're on the bottom. And they're red in color, and the rest of your lights are present, serviceable, and clean, not cracked, bent, or broken. Rubber going around is soft and pliable. Your license plate is present and clean, properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. And then you check your DOT bumper. Must be 18 inches off the ground, not cracked, bent, or broken. And the reflective tape is present. Now, there are 3 additional things that you would do on the passenger side differently than the driver's side. So you would tell the tester there are 3 additional things I would do differently on the passenger side, and those are: the turn signal light indicator is properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and is clean. You have 2, one there, one here. And your crank handle for your landing gear must be secured, cannot be flopping around. And the last thing you do, check your exhaust. Make sure it's properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Well secured, no sign of excess soot. That covers the exterior pre-trip. Alright. Now, alright, you got to treat this vehicle as if you're home. All your personal stuff's going to be inside this truck. So first thing you do is when you get inside the truck, you make sure everything in the back, all your personal effects are well secured. Nothing can fly forward to hit you, to impair you from operating the vehicle, because you're going to have TVs, you're going to have microwave, you're going to have whatever back here in the back. So make sure it's all secured so nothing can fly forward. Then you check your up top compartments, because again you're going to have stuff up there that you're going to be storing. Make sure nothing can fly out, hit you, impair you from operating the vehicle. Then you check your cupboards. Up on top up here, same thing. Nothing can fly out, well secured. Check your sun visors. They're present, serviceable. Alright. Then you check your windshield again for the second time. Make sure it's properly secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. If there was a crack, it could be no more than 1 inch on that side. The rubber seal going around is soft and pliable. Windshield wipers again are pressed up against the windshield. Then we're going to now check our seat to make sure that it's properly set up for me, because I'll be operating this vehicle, and that it works and adjusts to what I need. Check the seat belt for the second time. Put it on to make sure it latches, its locks in place, it's not cut or frayed. You check your safety equipment for the second time. Fuses are in the door. You have a 10 BC fire extinguisher, fully charged, sealed with a pin and seal. And then you have 3 emergency triangles that's underneath the bunk on that side, not cracked, bent, or broken. Now we're going to perform a safe start. You press the clutch, start the truck. Alright, you adjust the steering wheel on the telescope, however it works for you, and that way you can see your dashes. Check. You're going to start on the left side. You're going to check your lights up on top, make sure they work. Your visor, the door window, again, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, it's clean. Rubber seal going around, soft and pliable. On your door, you have your controls for your windows to make sure they work, go up and down. The mirror controls are on this side, so you can adjust your mirrors to make sure they're adjusted properly for you. Your mirror defroster is also on your door. From there, you have your utility light switch for your lights in the back is right here. When you turn it on, the light comes on, and when you know they're on. The dome light for the back comes on. Push it up, turn it off. Turn your headlights on. Your bright switch is this lever here. You pull it back to you. You have a bright indicator on the dash. You point to it, make sure it's working. Your 4-ways are both working. Right turn signal and left turn signal. Then you start on your gauges from the lower left and go up and then across. The lower one is your oil pressure gauge. At an idle, most trucks read between 5 to 20 at an idle, 35 to 75 when you're running down the road. Then you come up to your water temperature gauge. It should read between 170 and 210. Your RPM gauge is working properly and your depth fluid gauge is working. In the center of your dash, you have your gauges, which tells you your voltage. On this truck, it takes a minimum of 12 volts to start. It'll charge up to 13,914. Then you come across your fuel gauge. It's properly working. Your primary, secondary air gauges are properly working. And normal range should read between 100 and 125. Then you come across, check your valves, your air valves, your tractor park brake valve and your trailer supply valve are present and serviceable. You have switches up here on your dash. 3 of them lock in place. This is your differential switch. It locks your drives in place, so you have kind of like full-wheel drive. Make sure it's in its lock position. The engine Jake brake works on all 3 settings. Then you have your 5th wheel slide switch. Make sure it's in its lock position. This controls when it's released. You can slide your 5th wheel backwards and forwards. Your air suspension on your tractor, make sure it's in its lock position. The radio set at your own frequency. Then you also have to check your defrost and heater. Make sure you have air going to your windshield, air going to your floor, and then you have your AC where you have air coming out your vents. From there, you check your gear shifter to make sure it works properly. It goes in gear and it works. Gear shift boot is properly secured. Rubber is soft and pliable, no tears in it, because if you had a tear or it was loose, carbon monoxide would get inside the cab. Then you check your Johnny bar, make sure it works. Then you come up to your windshield, your steering wheel. It's a 20-inch steering wheel. Cannot have no more than 2 inches of 10-degree play. And it has 2 horns. Highway horn, city horn. Last thing you check is your brake and your clutch pedals and your gas pedal. Rubber and material. Clutch should have no more than 1.5 inch of play. Brake and gas pedal should not stick. In your dash, make sure your dash is free of debris. Nothing can fly around and impair your vision. Windshield wipers work and the washer works. Alright, this covers everything inside your in-cab inspection. Now we're going to do the air brake test, air static test, and then the brake test. Alright, you take the vehicle and you put it in low gear. Simulate chocks, because if we were on flat ground and we had chocks, we'd use chocks, but since we don't, we're going to use a truck. Put it in low gear. Shut the truck off. Once the truck is completely let off, then you release your clutch. Turn your key back to its on position. You're going to depress both valves. And your initial air loss should be no more than 10 to 15 psi. After your initial air loss, you sit and wait. You should lose no more than 3 psi for 1 minute. 1 minute is up. Now you're going to take your right foot and you're going to press and hold approximately 90 psi worth of pressure on the brake pedal and hold. You should not lose no more than 4 psi for 1 minute. 1 minute's up. Now you're going to do your fan down. Fan your brakes until you reach 60 psi, which a warning indicator will come on your dash. Alright, a warning indicator has come on the dash. You point to it. If the truck was running, it would be accompanied also by a buzzer. You're going to continue to fan your brakes, in which case between 20 and 45 psi, your trailer supply valve will pop out, followed by the tractor's park brake. Alright, they both have popped out. Now we're going to perform the air recovery test. You're going to depress the clutch, put the truck in neutral, and start the truck. Alright. Now you're going to raise your RPMs to 1,000. You should gain 10 to 15 psi per minute during your recovery process. Once the air gets above 60 psi, your warning indicator and buzzer should shut off. Buzzer has gone off. Now we're going to continue to raise our air pressure. The normal operating range is between 100 and 125. The air governor kicks in at 100, cuts out at 125. Should the air governor not kick out at 125, the emergency relief valve will kick in at 150 and shut the system down. The air governor just kicked out. Now I'm going to perform the 4 brake tests. Stick the vehicle in low gear. Depress the parking brake. I'm testing the trailer brakes. I'm going to slightly release the clutch. I should get a slight tug. Alright, get a slight tug. Pull it out. Push in the trailer supply valve. I'm going to test the truck parking brakes. I should get a slight tug. Alright, get a slight tug. Push both of them in. Pull down and hold the Johnny bar. Slightly let off the clutch and I should get a slight tug. Alright, get a slight tug. Now I'm going to test the service brakes. I'm going to drive the vehicle forward approximately 5 miles an hour. If the vehicle would pull to the left or right, it could be a sign of an indication of brakes need to be adjustment or low pressure on the front tire. You're going to drive forward, slightly let your hands off the steering wheel, depress the clutch, and apply the brakes. The vehicle should come to the stop. Alright, put the vehicle in neutral, set the brakes. This concludes my pre-trip and air and brake test.